Hey guys, what's going on? It's MassiveJoes Raw Review, and I'm coming to you from MassiveJoes.com. Awesome! Raw review for the viewers at home today on one of our newest proteins from one of our fastest growing brands. The brand is Arms Race Nutrition. The protein is, of course, Foundation in the house. So let's get straight into it, show you guys exactly what's in it, tell you exactly what it's going to do. That nutritional information panel ain't gonna get it done. We're about to go balls deep in this here Arms Race Nutrition Foundation protein. Luckily got a big ass nutritional information panel appearing on screen at the moment for you guys. Let's start at the top with the serving size and serves per container. So first and foremost, there's a whole bunch of flavors, and we'll get to those flavors later in this video, guys. But what you need to know is that every single tub of foundation weighs 2 pounds, which is 907 grams in the metric system. The flavor, based on the flavors, the size of the serves and the number of serves per 2 pound tub does vary. So we're looking at between 33 to 37 grams per 1 scoop serve, depending on the flavor, and therefore 25 to 27 serves per 2 pound tub, depending on the flavor. So all the flavors are 2 pounds, and then what happens in terms of the serving size and the number of serves per tub varies depending on the flavor. The calories also depend on the flavor. It is, of course, a protein, so we're going to dive through the calories and then get into the macros. Calories, 130 to 150, depending on the flavor. And then the panel that you guys are looking at the moment is actually for the apple fritter flavor. It's one of the more simple panels because there's no inclusions in here. So I thought I'd use that for this raw review. So let's dive into these macros. Total fat, you're looking at 3 grams, which is about 9%. Saturated fat, 2 grams, which is about 6%. Your carbohydrates, 2 grams, which is about 6%, of which 1 gram is sugar, that's about 3%. And your protein, 24 grams per scoop, 71% protein. So no surprises here. We are looking at a high protein, low carb, low fat blended protein. In terms of what the actual protein, what the actual formula is made up of, if we just jump across on this nutritional panel, we can check out the ingredients. We're dealing here, viewers at home, with a protein blend of cold processed undenatured whey protein concentrate as the primary source, and then the secondary source of protein is milk protein isolate, which is going to yield both whey protein and also casein protein. So we're dealing with a blended, sustained release protein blend with this Arms Race Foundation. We then also have in this formula, we've got a coconut oil blend, which is in there. It's going to add a little bit of fat, but primarily in there as a little bit of a texturizer, and we'll get to that when we talk about how it tastes, how it mixes. We then also have a gum blend, which is in there for texture. We've got flavors, natural and artificial, depending on the flavor that we're looking at. We have sucralose as our sweetener, and then we have in each and every flavor, digestive enzymes, a registered trademark digestive enzymes, which includes a blend of amylases, lactase, proteases, lipase, and cellulase to help your body digest every single gram of protein in this Arms Race Foundation. I will also point out this is the apple fritter that we are looking at, so there's no inclusions in this flavor, but every single flavor except for apple fritter and the other one's maple pancake contains inclusions. So some of the flavors, the chocolava cake, for example, contains real pieces of chocolava cake. There's cookie pieces in there. There's chocolate chips in certain flavors. So a lot of the flavors do contain inclusions, and those inclusions will be included on the nutritional panel and vary the macros just a little bit, depending on the flavor that you're looking at. In terms of how it tastes and how it mixes, guys, it comes in at this point in time 8 flavors with an ever-growing flavor list. So at this point in time, the time of recording this video, it comes in apple fritter, which is the nutritional panel we just went through, which is, I mean, we call it here at MassiveJoes, we call it Bupch's cake because it legit tastes exactly like my Polish grandmother's homemade apple cinnamon cake, which is very nostalgic for me and super fucking cool. I never thought that we'd come across a protein that tastes exactly like Bupch's cake. But apple fritter technically is like an apple cinnamon cinnamon flavored donut, I guess, for lack of a better description. Comes in banana cream pie, which has real freeze-dried banana cream pie pieces in there. It comes in the flavor I have here, this is my personal tub at the moment, the chocolate lava cake, which is actually the newest flavor as well, with real chocolate cake pieces in each and every scoop. It comes in cookies and cream with real cookies and cream pieces. It comes in the maple pancake flavor. It comes in the s'mores flavor with real marshmallows and chocolate chip pieces. It comes in strawberry shortcake flavor with real freeze-dried strawberry pieces. And finally, it comes in, also have this tub here, the snickerdoodle flavor with real snickerdoodle cookie pieces in each and every scoop. This is my personal tub, the chocolate lava cake. So we are going to do our infamous MassiveJoes taste and mixability test on this particular flavor. The directions here say to add 1 scoop to 6 to 8 ounces of cold water. So I have in my MJ shaker 8 ounces of cold water. I'm going to take 1 scoop of this Arms Race Foundation. And for those of you who are very particular about the weights of your protein scoops, I can tell you that 1 level scoop of this Arms Race Foundation, let me just pull out a level scoop so you guys know what I'm talking about. 1 level scoop that looks like that is pretty much bang on to the weight that the scoop is supposed to weigh. For this chocolate lava cake, it's 37 grams. This level scoop, I think, is like 36.7 grams. So almost bang on where it needs to be. You don't have to worry about under scooping or over scooping, but it is the level scoops that you guys are after. Let me throw this bitch in this bitch. Let it rain? No, it's not really raining with it doesn't really rain with the proteins. Throw the top on this MJ shake. A few flicks of the wrist. I'm going to refresh my memory on how this chocolate lava cake tastes, man. I actually just remembered I've completely forgotten to bring in the infamous MassiveJoes double wall glass, so I'm just going to have to go straight out of the shaker for you guys. But I will show you how it mixes just in the shaker so you guys can see what's up. It is a protein, so, you know, I mean, first things first, turbo bowl is required. It's not going to mix too well in a glass with a spoon, and that's just because of the protein blend, the gums, the coconut oil blend in there. You really do need to shake it. But you can see that in a shaker, it mixes pretty much perfectly. You don't have any frothing on the top, no floaters, no sinkers. It is a very well, and no clumps as well, which is a big one with sustained release blended proteins. It is a very well mixing protein. Let me refresh my memory on how this chocolate lava cake tastes, man. Look, I'm just going to park this here for a second because I want to talk about the other flavors to you guys. Arms Race, being a newer brand, has very quickly established itself as a brand that does not fuck spiders when it comes to the flavoring of their products across everything. The pre-workouts, the aminos, the creatine formulas, the proteins, no exception. The flavors across everything are world class. Guys, for real, the flavors across all 8 of these flavors of Arms Race Foundation are fucking unreal. There's no, I can't express it any more than that. I mean, they are, from the unique flavors, like the apple fritter, the maple pancake, for example, that we really haven't seen those flavors done before. They have fucking nailed them. To the more common flavors, your chocolate, your cookies and cream, your s'mores, for example, they are like top shelf, right up here with the best tasting versions of those sorts of flavored proteins that we have seen in the marketplace up until this point in time. Flavors are ridiculous. Texture is also world class. The way that they've been able to get a milkshake taste when mixed just with water through using the gums and the coconut oil blends in there, it literally tastes like this is mixed with like full cream milk. The texture, it's a milkshake. It's legit a milkshake. So fucking good. And then just on the inclusions piece, because an issue that we generally run into with inclusions, with protein powders that have inclusions, if the inclusions are too overpowering, it actually makes the protein really difficult to drink, because you drink the protein and then you got like shit floating down sinking down the bottom, floating on the top, and you're half drinking and then half chewing through the protein at the same time because you're trying to chew down the fucking inclusions, and it's just not a good protein to drink. Arms Race have done a really good job of not making the inclusions in this foundation too overpowering that you can't drink it. This chocolate lava cake has real pieces of chocolate lava cake in there, and you drink it just like a protein. Yeah, you can feel them on your tongue, but you're not having to stop the drinking to start eating the inclusions in there. So they've done a really good job of balancing the inclusions for drinkability with the inclusions for sludgeability and cooking. We'll get to that in a second. But I said I wanted to park this because this is the chocolate lava cake flavor. Guys, no shit. We have we had a discussion here at MJHQ with all of the staff that work here when we first tried this chocolate lava cake. And the discussion was along the lines of, can we think of a chocolate flavored protein in the history of MassiveJoes that tastes as good as this chocolate lava cake tastes? That was the discussion, because we all tried it and we were expecting it to be good. It's Arms Race, it's Foundation. We all tried it and we were like, fuck, this is ridiculous. And so that's the discussion we had. And it wasn't unanimous, but it was pretty close to unanimous that this chocolate lava cake is the best chocolate flavored protein we have ever had here at MassiveJoes, across all chocolate flavored proteins that we've come across in the 16 years that I've been running this company. So that says something for the chocolate flavor in its own right. It is fucking unreal, like unreal. You guys are gonna absolutely love it. On to versatility. So I mentioned the drinkability, very drinkable, even the flavors with inclusions. I have pre-prepared some sludge here for you guys so you can see what's up. Sludge, or protein custard if you prefer to call it that. It sludges exceptionally well, so check that out. Look at that, just a really nice, thick, custardy type texture, courtesy of the protein blend. I was gonna try some of this as well. Courtesy of the protein blend and the gum and the coconut oil blends in there. It's so fucking good, this chocolate lava cake, guys, let me tell you. Sludges really, really well. Obviously the flavors with inclusions, you get the benefit of the inclusion in the sludge there as well. So the chocolate lava cake with roux chocolate lava cake pieces, the snickerdoodle with roux snickerdoodle cookie pieces. That's kind of a nice treat in the sludge also. It also cooks really well. So you can make protein muffins, protein waffles, protein pancakes. It actually makes protein brownies really well as well, courtesy of the casein coming from the milk protein isolate in there. So it's super, super versatile. In terms of the effects, guys, it's a protein powder, so it's gonna help increase your daily protein intake. It needs to be included as part of your protein intake, as part of your diet. I will point out that because they've used undenatured whey protein concentrate as the primary source and then whole milk protein as the other source, it is a very pure, very complete, very biologically available source of protein, which means the naturally occurring amino acid ratio is ideal for human tissue replenishment and human muscle growth in particular. And your body is able to use very highly biologically available. So your body's actually able to use a lot of the peptide-bound amino acids in these whole food sources of protein that you're getting in each and every scoop of this foundation from Arms Race. And then also the casein from the milk protein isolate does make it sustained release. So the casein is going to sit in your gut, take a little while longer to digest than the whey protein will, and that's just going to allow you to get that constant stream of amino acids over. You know, whey is 20 minutes to an hour, casein is an hour to 4 hours is how long it kind of sits and sticks around for a sustained release amino acid drip feed, if you like. Side effects. So it does contain lactose, obviously being a WPC and a milk protein isolate blend, there is going to be lactose in there. So if you are sensitive to lactose, it's not a lot of lactose, and you can always tell because when you look at the nutritional panel, lactose is going to be included under the total sugar count. Lactose is of course milk sugar. So there's not a lot of lactose, but if you are super sensitive to lactose, you may have some gastrointestinal upset using this Arms Race Foundation. And then secondly, it does contain digestive enzymes as well. So most of us, we fucking love digestive enzymes because it helps our body break down the protein, especially the proteases, and get the amino acids into the bloodstream where they can do what they do best. But there are some of us, a very select few, who have an issue with digestive enzymes, and sometimes it can actually upset our digestive system. So if you are sensitive to digestive enzymes, you do have to keep in mind that there are digestive enzymes in this foundation protein. What does it compare to? So I've chosen two proteins here, guys. On one hand, I've chosen a WPI, WPC, WPH blend, and that is of course Ghost Whey. And the reason why I'm comparing it to that is really from a flavor, texture, and an inclusion perspective. And on the other hand, I've chosen Core Pro, which is a WPC milk protein isolate WPI blend. Doesn't contain inclusions, but is probably closest in terms of the actual protein source to this foundation. So when it comes to Ghost Whey, we're looking at the same price. We're looking at very comparable macros, almost identical. We're looking at a very comparable texture. Both Ghost Whey and Foundation have flavors that have inclusions and then have flavors that don't have inclusions as well. I will say that Foundation does tend to mix up a little thicker as a shake than Ghost Whey does, but not by a whole much. Versatility is comparable as well. Foundation tends to sludge a little bit better than Ghost Whey, and then also cooks a little bit better than Ghost Whey, but both of them will sludge and cook. Both have digestive enzymes. Ghost Whey currently in the Australian marketplace has one more flavor, so 9 flavors compared to 8. Both have very unique flavors. Ghost Whey has flavors like sugar cookie, for example, choc chip cookie, what else have we got in there? Mocha ice cream flavor. So they have really unique flavors, as does Foundation, and then they kind of do the more vanilla flavors there, the more common flavors as well. Ghost Whey does not contain any casein though. It's a WPI, WPH, WPC blend, whereas Foundation is WPC and milk protein isolate, which is going to yield casein, which makes it sustained release, whereas Ghost Whey is not sustained release. On the flip side, comparing to Core Pro, in the small tubs, we're dealing with the same price. We're dealing with almost identical macros. We're dealing with almost identical texture, although Core Pro does not contain inclusions in any flavor, whereas Foundation does in 6 of the 8 flavors. The versatility is comparable, although Foundation does sludge and cook a little bit better than Core Pro, not by much. Both also have digestive enzymes. Core Pro in the Australian marketplace has 2 less flavors at this point in time, 6 compared to the 8 for Foundation, but there are a whole bunch of flavors coming forward on Core Pro, so we will probably see around 10 in the Australian marketplace in the next few months. Both have very unique flavors. Core Pro, for example, just dropped the Golden Gay Time inspired Golden Gain Time, and then Foundation obviously have your maple pancake, your apple fritter for a unique flavor spin. Core Pro does contain WPI, whereas Foundation doesn't. Foundation is just WPC and casein. Core Pro is WPI, WPC, and milk protein isolate, which yields both whey and casein. So very, very similar products. Who is it best for? This Arms Race Foundation, viewers? Anybody who's looking to increase their daily protein intake. It's a sustained release, great value for money, ridiculous tasting whey and casein protein blend, which means it's ideal for really, unless you're really seriously lactose intolerant, this Foundation protein should definitely have piqued your curiosity by this point, and it's definitely something that you guys should look at incorporating into your daily supplementation regime as a way to increase your daily protein intake. Finally, price and value for money in the Australian marketplace, viewers. Your Foundation 2-pound tub is looking at the $69.95 price mark for 25 to 27 serves, which sits at $2.60 to $2.80 per serve, which is a very fair price for this size of protein in the Australian marketplace. That's generally where the 2-pound blended or sustained release proteins will sit, is around that $69.95 price mark. Guys, you really you need to try this foundation. I'm just gonna level with you. There's a lot of proteins on the market at this point in time. There always is. There always will be. I think that just from a delight perspective, just how delightful this protein is to drink, to sludge, to cook with, to have flavors that you never thought anyone would make an apple fritter flavor or a maple pancake flavor in a protein. To be able to try those flavors and incorporate them into your daily supplementation regime and get your daily protein intake while consuming proteins that are just absolutely fucking delicious. You guys need to go out and get yourself a tub of this Arms Race Foundation protein. Guys, hit the subscribe button. Subscribe to the MassiveJoes YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn your post notifications on your mobile, your cell phone, your desktop PC, whatever other device you're watching this video on, so you don't miss a beat when it comes to the MassiveJoes YouTube channel. Guys, that is MassiveJoes' raw review on Arms Race Foundation in the house. And I'm coming to you from MassiveJoes.com. Stay massive.
Thank you for tuning in to this video. We hope you enjoyed watching. Don't forget to check out our latest upload and our recommended video, and be sure to subscribe to the MassiveJoes YouTube channel to stay up to date with all of our latest uploads.